pattern is predictable. It's growing in even intervals. This is a linear pattern. So we're going to predict that if it's going up, our next pattern piece is going to be positive 7. So positive 1, positive 3, positive 5, and positive 7. So what we are looking for is we're looking for the expression that describes this pattern. The first thing we need to do is we need to identify what the pattern is changing by. And in this situation, our pattern is increasing by intervals of 2. So we see here, we have an interval of 2. There, we have 2. And right here, we can, of course, create 3 intervals of 2. Unfortunately, our first term, right here, we don't have an interval of 2. And we're looking for even intervals that are consistent through each term. So our first term creates a bit of a problem. And we can see this problem carries forward. We have 1, 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 2, 1, 2, 2 and 2. We need to correct this. So to solve this, what we're going to actually do is we're going to go back to integer addition and subtraction. And of course, remember we can add in 0 to anything and it doesn't change the value. So in this situation, our first term, we are looking for positive 2. To create that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to add in 1 0 pair. Once we've added the 0 pair, we've actually created positive 2. This is going to be useful for us all the way through our pattern. We're going to repeat this for each term. So for the second term, I now have a 0 pair, and we can see that the overall pattern hasn't changed, so we still have 1 and 3 because that's worth a value of 0. We're going to add in another 0 pair, which has, of course, a sum of 0, and we'll do that again with our fourth term. If we were continuing the pattern, this would continue all the way through. So we could describe this as being a constant change. Now looking at the pattern, I really want to identify what the pattern rule is so that I can create an expression. I see that the intervals are now going up by 2. I start with one group of 2, a group of 2 plus a group of 2. So we have 2 groups of 2. A group of 2, a group of 2, a group of 2, 3 groups, and of course we have 4 groups of 2 right here. We could call this our multiplier or coefficient. Basically, it's going to allow us to repeat our addition according to our term number. So our first term number being 1, we have the one group of 2. But it also leaves us with something else. It leaves us with a single negative. Negative, 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 and negative. We have a negative integer value for each term in our pattern. This is constant. It's never changing. So we can predict that each term in our pattern will have one negative 1 value. So returning to this, we have positive 2, and this is our variable right here because it's changing. This is the thing that's going to vary. So our coefficient is 2. We see second term, so 2, third term, 3 groups of 2, fourth term. We can then describe this pattern as being 2n, of course the variable is your choice, and what we're left with is we need to subtract 1 each time. So the pattern rule 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so forth can be described as 2n minus 1.